Spacey Sims, and we're back with more Steam Prison, and we're just continuing doing all the after stories and side stories. So we are going with Ines today, and holy crap, my headset's really loud. Alright, so we're going to do, with the protagonist, right, okay. I have to think about it, okay, because I take, like, day breaks in between, because I'm like, hey, I might as well, let's finish this, but, like, it's been a couple days, because it's not like I'm going to forget what we were doing, because it's just 1 hour blocks of time, but I just have to look each time and be like, what the hell did we do? Like, that made no sense. Anyway. Alright, we're at Ines. He sounds a little bit like Adage, but deeper. I don't know if I can do it right now. A few months passed after I became the commander of the Hounds. The sanctuary district became less grim, more like it had been under Thea's rule, and more lively as well. Oh, that's right, Sasha's dead. That said, with the liveliness came a degree of conflict among the residents that hadn't existed under Sash. Or Saxon, how they actually pronounced his name, but like, whatever. This was the price that had to be paid for freedom, I knew. One afternoon... Here, this is all of it. The paper bag Adage had put on my table was unexpectedly large. I nodded at him, telling myself I had to make sure not to drop it. You have my gratitude. Gratitude doesn't feed anyone. I need a reward, not feelings. A reward, huh? Adage kind of sounded like Ines, so I gotta change his voice a little. Poor Adage. Poor Adage really got a fucking, like, rough life in this one, huh? He's like the middle child. He really was the middle fucking child, wasn't he? I pulled my purse from my pocket, but he stopped me. You don't want money? I meant figuratively. I'm a doctor. I already have more money than you. Rude. You probably asked me because the Hounds are running out of cash. I couldn't sleep easy taking money from you. I didn't like to depend on Adage's goodwill, but wasn't in a situation to argue. Besides, Glissade was gone, and there was no indication the Heights were going to send us a new doctor. I needed to stay on Adage's good side for his medical skills. Why don't you start working for the Hounds full-time? Absolutely not. I love my freedom. Besides... Yes? Adage said nothing for a moment before shaking his head and brushing the question away. I'm already selling you medicine well below value out of goodwill. Don't depend on me for everything. True enough. Sorry. And don't nod like that all the time. You're older than you could stand to... You're older and you could stand to act a little mightier. Age doesn't matter. Everyone should treat each other respectfully. Right. You're so stuffy. It's unbelievable. Respect, huh? He looked at the ceiling for a few moments. Aren't you going out on a date? With you? Of course not. With Spacey. You get along well. Take her somewhere. Such as? We go on patrol a lot. That's work. I mean something more private. I'm wondering though, because in this he's the commander, so he's going to be wearing the black uniform. Do we ever get to see his sprite in that uniform? Like at the end of his route? I don't remember, but... You're living together and I bet you're not making any progress in the name of being respectful. So what's up? Well, I'm certainly not slighting her. Not slighting her. You love your work, so I want to warn you. If you don't go out with your woman sometimes, you'll lose her. You love your work just as much as I do, but I'll keep it in mind. It sounds like a fair idea. That evening, I called out to Spacey, who had just finished with her shift. Going out? Yes. What do you think? I told Adage the truth. We often patrolled together. For some reason, and unbecoming of my age, I was nervous. I have to clear my mind. With the right mindset, even flames are cold. I calmed myself and waited for her answer. Of course. Let's patrol together. I think nighttime crimes have been spiking lately. We need to improve security. I guess she didn't understand. I could see her enthusiasm and didn't have the heart to backtrack. As servants of justice, we can't overlook evil. It's like, you can't give her hints like, going out? Yes, we should patrol! He's like, I meant, like, on a date. You gotta be specific with this girl. I just don't understand how you haven't figured that one out yet. Come on, boy. We're the protectors of the peace in the sanctuary district. Like, she's a fucking robot. I like her up into the, we already know. We know my issues with her. I like her up to that point. But, like, when we hit that point, it's like, oh, for fuck's sake! Now you're dumber than every other MC we usually get. But she's a robot, so you can't kind of just hint at things, because it's just like, yes, we should go patrol for justice! And he's like, I meant go on a date. And she's like, what? How's that going to help people? It's not? What? Wait, huh? This girl. Yes, we are. Sir Ines, you sound evasive. Is something wrong? She's right. Crimes at night have been spiking, but we really do need to improve security. Consequently, I need to put my feelings aside for the time being. Like, we're the nicer people, but crimes are spiking because they're not afraid that we're going to just murder them for no fucking reason. I mean, like, Sasha was an asshole, but I'm just saying. He was effective. Especially at being an asshole. Going on patrol was also going out, in a sense. It could also be considered a date. Ugh, you fucking nerds. Both of you. No. Patrolling is patrolling. It's still my job. Only you two would find patrolling like a date. I took a deep breath. Is something wrong? Don't worry about it. Let's go. Okay. I could hear our footsteps in the night, and there was no sign of any crimes. We only met with residents intermittently. It doesn't look like an eventful night. It's rather quiet. Spacey whispered something akin to what I was thinking. I laughed, sensing a profound sense of justice. Why are you laughing? You don't seem happy that it's so quiet. Of course not. The fewer incidents, the better. She put a hand on the hilt of her sword. However, I suppose there might be a small part of me that isn't happy. I admire the heroes who help others. That can't happen without evildoers. I think part of me wants incidents to happen because of that. It's very immature. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. I understand what you mean. When I was a police officer in the Heights, the citizens used to say I looked bored. And the Heights were so peaceful, they thought I was just strolling through the town. What did you say to them, Sir Ines? What do you think? Did you correct them? No, I ignored them. You ignored them? Yeah, I was still young at the time and a little hot-headed. I left before I could cause a scene. Could you imagine fucking Ines being like an asshole to people? What? A lot of them used to say I wasn't working for my wage. It wasn't easy. That's harsh. You were serving the people. Yes, well, in name. The reality was different. Oh, it was a rotten, insulated organization starting with Cordoa. Oh, Cordoa Haas, sorry. I was just doing a Cordoa. And I was like, oh right, we said his last name this time. Because I just knew who they were talking about. I don't know why my brain imagined a period over here. Anyway, I'm embarrassed I didn't realize it until he admitted to it. Because he seems like a jovial, jolly guy. He doesn't seem like an asshole, but we should have seen it coming, I guess. Did I? I don't remember. It was the same for me. Their crimes are known now. We don't know much about what's happening nowadays, but I think Saint Yune is working to fix the temple now. Yeah, I think so too. Thinking about our distant homeland isn't going to change anything. We have to focus on our duties here in the sanctuary district. And that means patrolling. Yes! Aye aye, Captain. After we've made our rounds through the sanctuary district, we went home. It was past midnight when we arrived, as Spacey spoke first. I think I have to change my attitude. Your attitude? Yes, incidents really aren't supposed to happen. The sense of relief I receive when I return home isn't there when I take care of an incident. Welcome home, Ines. She smiled at me. You too. Welcome home, Spacey. We tried to keep a professional distance at work, lest we mixed our private and public lives. Yeah, so then why were you thinking patrolling was like a date, aside from the fact that you're both fucking nerds? At home, we spoke more affectionately. It was a small difference, but it gave me comfort. Oh, yes. I fumbled around in my pocket, remembering I had something to give to her. Here, for you. Huh? A present. I bought it at the market, thinking you would like it. Aww. It had been a few hours earlier. I'd bought it at the market on the way back to headquarters from Adage's clinic. I wanted to give it to you somewhere else. I'm sorry it has to be here. Somewhere else? Oh! Did you want to take me out instead of going on patrol? Spacey fell silent, having worked it out just now. She's blushing because she's like, I'm an idiot! Oh, yeah, but that's one of the things we like about you. Not the stupidity of not knowing where babies come from or anything about that. That's too dumb. But a little bit of an idiot where you're like, yo, stupid. Yeah, he was trying to ask you out. Aw, like, that's cute. Because that's literally me. I'm that dumb. That kind of stupid I can handle, you know? Yes, Adage told me I should take you out every now and then. I was hoping we could do something on a private level. We can do something on a private level right now, okay? I see. I'm sorry I misunderstood. No need to apologize. I was still able to spend time with you and talk about the past. It was still meaningful. I hope so. Could we still go out? We have to work tomorrow. Right. Sorry. I'll make it up to you one day. I'm looking forward to it. Could you try the hair clip? I bought it for you. Of course. Spacey took the hair clip and put it into her hair. She opened the clasp, fixed her hair, and closed it. How's this? No change. The little details I appreciate. This one does not have those. That won't do. It's not aligned. Don't move. Are we gonna get a CG of him fixing our hair clip? Because that would be cute. Not yet, but... It's alright. I can fix it myself. She adjusted it, but it was still wrong. Let me do it. Okay. Thank you. Yeah? No? I smiled at Spacey, walked up behind her, and touched the clasp. I don't think I've done this very often. I, being a man, had obviously never worn a hair ornament. Are you sure? I think Ines just secretly likes to wear hair ornaments and dresses and shit. Look, everybody's got some kinks. I'm just wondering what his is. Even putting one on someone else's hair. I hadn't done that, come to think of it. I certainly acted confidently, didn't I? I told myself it was going to be fine and pulled on the clasp. No? Really? Oh. Did that hurt? No, I'm just nervous because you're so close and I can't see you. Oh, I see. Close, huh? I began to more consciously think about it, too. Oh, God, both stuttering idiots now. It's gonna be fun. I cleared my throat and adjusted the clasp. Alright, here we go. She thanked me and turned her head towards me, and we still do not have a CG of this, and I'm extremely fucking disappointed. That would have been the perfect place for one, you know? Do you like it? Yes, it's exactly how I imagined. That's nice, but I'm a little surprised. You are? She nodded and touched the clasp. I didn't think you'd be the type to buy me presents. I'm glad, but surprised. I suppose so. I buy presents very rarely. It took me quite some time to select this one. I'm glad it looks good on you. I'll treasure it forever, and thank you, Ines. I knew it wasn't going to last forever, but if anyone was going to try, it was she. It's wonderful. I hope I can do something for you in kind. Don't force yourself. You'd only wear yourself out. I patted her head. Patting my head like that makes me look like a child. I'm your girlfriend. She pouted at me rather childishly, and I laughed. Sorry, well... Now we get a CG? Aww. Oh, look! And we are wearing our clip, although this one it's cute. She's got a cute short hair, and the other one her hair looked like it was a little, like, shaggier. I like this haircut better. I mean, we cut our hair in that route, too, so we look like a guy going up to the thing, because otherwise they'd know it was me. Hey, you brought a houndsperson with you. That's a... Wait a minute. There's only one person we sent down there. Like, there's no women that work on the hounds. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do this with a child. I fucking hope not. I wrapped my arms around her and kissed her hair. Your hair's still so short. It was growing back slowly and still needed a lot of time. But it looks cute this way. Yes. Do you think it looks weird? Of course not. It suits you even better than the clasp. I see. Perhaps I should keep it this way. Keep it? Yes, it's easier to wash and... No. I'm glad you like it. Do you want to eat something? It's quite late, but you must be hungry. Yes. What about an omelet? All right, I'll make it for you. That was a cute CG. I let her out of my embrace, and she soon withdrew. The person I saw walk away was absolutely a woman, not a child. Again, I hope the fuck so. Although, her thing about sex and not knowing where babies came from does kind of... But we're past that now, but still... Who would have thought I would have such a relationship? I mean, who were you going to have that kind of relationship with? You're lucky I came along. It would have been you and Sashin. Maybe that's why he was so pissed. Came along and took all the prime man meat from him. Sorry, Sash. As a police officer in the Heights, I'd accepted I'd be in a government-directed, loveless relationship. I never had the urge to rebel, but there would have been only duty, not love. When I became part of the Hounds, I didn't abandon my hope of returning, but I had accepted I might die alone in the depths. Now, though, everything was different. Spacey. Yes? She turned around and I looked at her. You're the woman I love. Let us live together happily. Yes! She smiled at me, ignoring the suddenness of this request. Her smile was bright and pure. She must be used to this. Every once in a while you just blurt out weird shit, and she's like, that's strange, but okay, it's Ines. In a way, it reminded me that she was younger than I was. A lot younger. Since you helped us find our parents' necklace when you were like... I mean... Not super much younger. It might be like, what, a 10-year difference? Something like that? It's not that bad, but... Or 10 plus? I don't remember. I don't remember what I don't want to know, because it's going to be like, it'll be like a 20-year age difference, and like, that's weird! I mean, you're in the depths. Beggars can't be choosers down here, I guess. What are your options, Ines? The one woman that got sent down here? Who could, like, work for the Hounds, or like... Sashin. That's what Sashin was hoping for. She seems more like a younger sister sometimes. Either way, I treasure her. Okay, Ines, now you're just pushing the lines here. She's not a child, she's a woman. Sometimes she feels like my sister. The fuck? What kind of Alabama fuck is this? Jesus. Ines, just stop talking. We had to take it slow and without haste. He's such a weirdo. Our lives were intertwined. Mine and Spacey. Or entwined, sorry, I read that totally wrong. After story. I feel like that one was, I mean, aside from me, it just felt shorter. Maybe because I spaced out a little bit in it. A few months passed after Ines became the commander of the Hounds. The Sanctuary District was livelier than it had been under Sashin. Sadly, that also led to an increase in cases among residents. I was cleaning the medical room. Glissant hadn't come back yet, and there was no indication they were going to send us a new doctor. He's dead, though. I learned first aid from Adage, but it was a far cry from his abilities. It's not looking good. No, I have to stay positive. I decided I'd live for it. I decided I would live there. I had to stay positive and believe in the future. And wait for the new doctor we'll hopefully get. Now, more cleaning. It was evening already. Going out? When I was done and about to go home. Oh, that was Ines, right? Wait. No, that was me. Okay. Ines called my name. Okay, hello! I'm sorry. You're the commander of the Hounds. You could have at least changed his fucking sprite and put him in the black fucking uniform. Cheap ass fucking after stories game. Cheap ass. You cheaped the fuck out on that. So this is the case in point where I was talking in like Love Spell when we played that. Oh my god, they talk about like, it'd be like, oh, she put a hair clip in, and then the sprite would actually have a hair clip. They changed the sprites based on the shit in the story. They had different outfits. They like, oh, I'm gonna put this hair clip on you, then the sprite would have a hair clip. This, you couldn't even color his uniform in black. You couldn't even put him in a black uniform? You couldn't even do that. This is not... Come the fuck on. I understand, like, the hair clip thing. Like, okay, fine. Like, not every game's gonna put that level of detail. You stop it. Stop it. And that's probably technically why her sprite... But her hair wasn't as long as it usually is. It didn't look like, but, like, you couldn't... Come on. I was looking forward to this, and now you've ruined it. I'm gonna throw my computer across the room. Except for I don't want to break it, but, like... Ugh. Disappointed! The disappointment level is high right now. Come the hell on. Well, now I just don't want to play anymore. Also, no offense to poor Ines, but he's a little fucking boring. Yes, what do you think? He's off duty already, but he's still... It was rare for him to invite me for it, though. Of course, let's patrol together. I think nighttime crimes have been spiking lately. We need to improve security. As servants of justice, we can't overlook evil. We're the protectors of the peace in the Sanctuary District. Yes, we are. Sir Ines, you sound evasive. Is something wrong? Ines said nothing and only grumbled. He took a deep breath. Is something wrong? Don't worry about it. Let's go. Okay. Additional patrols. Evil lurked in the darkness, robbing us of everything in a moment of inattention, even our lives. I'm sorry, there's something about this that I just love. It's just so funny. The evil lurks around every corner. We'll stop it. Okay, Justice Girl. Go for it. It's our duty in the Hounds to protect the people from that evil. Yeah, she is just like on something. Of course, Ines would want to take the initiative and ramp up patrols. Ugh. Our justice boner is pretty fun. It's the entertaining part of this. I can hear our footsteps in the night. There was no sign of any crimes. We only met residents intermittently. It's rather quiet. I mean, even they're so bored with Ines that they just recycle the same shit. Like, there were no residents. We only saw them intermittently. That's pretty much, I think, the exact same line that was in Ines's point of view. I mean, I know we're going to get the same conversation lines. Duh. But, like, our inner monologue is basically the same as his. It's like, were you that bored writing it that you were like, just use the same shit. No one's going to... Like, I feel like it wasn't that way in everybody else's, but... It's rather quiet. Ines laughed at this. Why are you laughing? You don't seem happy that it's so quiet. Of course not. The fewer incidents, the better. Put a hand on the hilt of my sword. However, I suppose there might be a small part of me that isn't happy. I admire the heroes who help others. That can't happen without evildoers. I think a part of me wants incidents to happen because of that. It's very immature. Sorry. Don't apologize. I understand what you mean. When I was a police officer in the Heights, the citizens used to say I look bored. I feel like the game's calling me out. I'm not gonna lie, Ines is... I don't remember much of it at all. But even this, it's like, you're just kind of bland and boring. I forget that adage exists because you were just in a lot of the other scenes, but I kind of forgot your route, not gonna lie. Because they made you kind of a... And like, maybe... I don't remember being like, oh my god, I hate his route. It wasn't like that at all, but I don't really remember... Like, I remember the plot points. If I think about it, like, at the moment, it's like, nope, they're gone. So it's just kind of sad, because I feel like you're a better character than that, but they didn't do you justice, because, like, you're just kind of boring. Like, half an hour in, I keep stopping and rambling, because I'm bored. Like, it's sad. Like, everyone else's was, like, maybe it's just me right at the moment. I can't keep my thoughts straight. I don't know. Or I'm just like, yeah, yada yada Ines. Are we done yet? Like, I hate that. But there's some just routes where you do that. And there's other ones that you're like, it's been like 5 hours and I'm still here and I'm so into this. Poor Ines was not that route. Anyway. The Heights were so peaceful, I thought I was just strolling through the town. I mean, you kind of were on patrol, but... What did you say to them, Sir Ines? What do you think? I couldn't imagine him yelling at citizens or punching them, although it sounds like he wanted to. So, did you correct them? No, I ignored them. You ignored them? Yeah, I was still young at the time and a little hot-headed. I left before I could cause a scene. I wish you were still a little hot-headed. I want you to become maybe a little, because it would just make you a little, like, you're like white bread. Not even toast. You're not even toast. You were literally like, just... You're like Wonder Bread. There's like no flavor. Even though bread in America is like so full of sugar, but... You just... Like... White bread is like no flavor. Except for sugar. I don't know. I haven't had white bread in so long, but... But it's boring. You're like, oh, it's a boring piece of white bread. Awesome. Like, at least give me like whole wheat or something, you know? Rye. I don't really like the taste of rye bread, but at least it's all swirly and shit, you know? Looks interesting. A lot of them used to say I wasn't working for my wage. It wasn't easy. When he was a police officer. It must have been around the time we had met. Can't believe he was hot-headed back then. Right? And then he got boring. Then again, I had no idea what being a police officer was like back then. Apparently boring. That's harsh. You were serving the people. Yes, well, in name. The reality was different. It was a rotten, insulated organization starting with Cordoa Haas. I'm embarrassed I didn't realize it until he admitted it. It was the same for me. Their crimes are known now. We don't know much about what's happening nowadays, but I think St. Eune's working to fix the temple now. Yeah, I think so too. Thinking about our distant homeland isn't going to change anything. We have to focus on our duties here in the Sanctuary District. And that means patrolling. Yes! Aye, Captain. I think we said that the last time too. After we'd made our rounds to the Sanctuary District, we went home. It was past midnight when we arrived. This place puts me at ease. I look at Ines, feeling at peace. I think I have to change my attitude. Your attitude? Yes, incidents really aren't supposed to happen here. The sense of relief I receive when I return home isn't there when I take care of an incident. Welcome home, Ines. You too. Welcome home, Spacey. I feel like maybe they were bored writing this too because she's like, I feel like I need to change my thing because like when I go on patrol and I find an incident, then that feeling of relief when I get home isn't there. Welcome home, Ines. And it's like, did you just... Are you on... Like, what? Like, she just kind of jumps from like... And it just... It just leapt all over. And I remember I felt that way when I read the first time and I was like, whatever. But the second time around, you're like, nope. It's fucking just as weird. Ines had begun to talk to me more affectionately at home, even as he maintained a professional distance at work. It was a small difference, but it gave me comfort. Here, for you. Ines pulled something from his pocket and held it out to me. Huh? A present. I bought it at the market thinking you would like it. I wanted to give it to you somewhere else. Sorry it has to be here. Somewhere else? A present from Ines. And we were outside earlier. Oh! Did you want to take me out instead of going on patrol? We were outside earlier. Yes, you would go outside from going from one building to the other. It's just really awkward the way it was, like, I guess translated, but... Yes, Adage told me I should take you out every now and then. I was hoping we could do something on a private level. I see. I'm sorry I misunderstood. No need to apologize. I was still able to spend time with you and talk about the past. That was not in his. I don't remember reading that line at all. It was still meaningful. Did we read that line, or did I space out? Just saying. My name is my name for a reason. I hope so. I'd made a big mistake. I can't believe I messed this up. Could we still go out? We have to work tomorrow. Right. Sorry. I'll make it up to you one day. I'm looking forward to it. Could you try the hair clip? I bought it for you. Of course! I took the clip and held it against my hair. My mother had so many of these. I opened the clasp, fixed my hair, and closed it. How's this? That won't do. It's not aligned. Don't move. It's alright. I can fix it myself. I've never put a clasp into my own hair before, so it's understandable. I tried to adjust it, but my nervousness led to no improvement. Let me do it. Okay. Thank you. Ines walked up behind me and touched the clasp. He pulled on it a little. Huh? Oh, did that hurt? No, I'm just nervous because you're so close and I can't see you. Oh, I see. Ines cleared his throat and adjusted the clasp. All right, here we go. Thank you, Ines. Do you like it? Yes, it's exactly how I imagined. That's nice. But I'm a little surprised. You are? I nodded and touched the clasp. I didn't think you'd be the type to buy me presents. I'm glad, but surprised. I suppose so. I buy presents very rarely. Did we have this conversation in his perspective too? Because again, why does this not feel familiar? We just did it. Did I really, read this and not... Did I seriously space out that bad? Because I'm... Holy crap. It took me quite some time to select this one. I'm glad it looks good on you. I'll treasure it forever. Thank you, Ines. I mean, this part I remember. It's wonderful. I hope I can do something for you in kind. Don't force yourself. You'd only wear yourself out. Ines grinned and patted my head. Patting my head like that makes me look like a child. I'm your girlfriend. Sorry, I just... Well... I mean, I remember this, but I wouldn't do this with a child. He wrapped his arms around me and kissed my hair. Your hair's still so short. Yes. Do you think it looks weird? Of course not. It suits you even better than the clasp. I see. Perhaps I should keep it this way. Keep it? Yes, it's easier to wash, and I'm glad you like it. Do you want something to eat? It's quite late, but you must be hungry. Yes. What about an omelet? All right, I'll make it for you. I withdrew from his embrace and went into the kitchen. I'll have to make the best omelet possible. Hopefully he would know how happy I was. Spacey? Yes? You're the woman I love. Let us live together happily. Yes! The sanctuary district was so far from our homeland, but we would likely never return. The reason I could still be happy was him. I admired him already back then. My skills and my attitude were still lacking. I knew I was going to be following him for a while longer before catching up. I knew I was going to be following... Okay, no. I am not crazy. I read it the right way, but my brain was like, there was a word missing, but for some reason I was like, wait, what? Anyway. I had to grow. Then I would be able to support him in private and in public too. Okay. Ines is just so boring. I hate to say it. Like Adage I forgot about, so you go back and you're like, oh, okay, I kind of forgot you existed. But like, and I remember like the plot points in Ines's route, but I don't remember Ines. I don't remember like how I felt about him or like the romance. Like, it's just weird. It's like, yeah, his partner committed suicide. He was sent down here. He was trying to go back home. He was just going to use us to help him to get back to the Heights. And one of the bad endings, I think he went to the Heights and left us behind. And then, right, Sasha died in his route, and then and that's, in Ines's route was where we got, it was one of them, right? That's where we got the Sasha kind of flashback. Where it's like, right? Wasn't it yeah, because there were no after stories in that. And it's like, so, in Ines's route, we had the Sasha moment. We actually got Sasha perspective in Ines. That's how boring Ines is. They were like, let's give you some Sasha. And you were like, oh, I'm in Sasha's brain now. In the middle of it. Or I'm just misremembering because Ines was that kind of boring. And again, I don't know. Like, I could have, when I was going to, like, oh no, Ines isn't as bad. Like, he's not a bad character, but it's like, I just feel like I don't know. Again, you're like white bread. You're like, oh, could you at least toast it a little? The fuck? I don't remember which one this is. Probably one of the bad endings. Okay, this is the right. The first one is the other person's dead, and now you've kind of flipped route. So we were in Adage's ending, we got a bad ending, and then this it counts as an Ines ending. This is like the route switch. Basically, it's kind of in a way like Oz Mafia does the route switching. You're like, I'm dating this person. Nah, fuck you, I'm gonna go date that guy. But in this, it's more like, we're like in love with this person, then we get a bad ending, and then we're with the other person. We kind of route switch. Like, that's bizarre. Adage had died a few months earlier. A ceremony was underway in the Hounds building. Everyone was inside, save for those on guard. Everyone had a small shot glass with whiskey in their hands. To the dead. Oh, that was to the dead. That's Sasha. Saj, who stood in the center of the room, raised his glass and downed it. Well, at least we know the excitement isn't. I think that's why Ines has to be so boring, is because Sasha is just so not the complete opposite. Like, he's too much adventure. We need a little bland. We all did the same. To the dead, we said, and drank. And the liquor burned down our throat. We did this once a year to honor the fallen members of the Hounds. Hounds worked in packs. We had no value as individuals. Therefore, they were not honored individually. Officially, at least. Everyone I looked at wore a grim expression, and they all thought back on the deceased to whom they'd been especially close. And I'm sorry that it's so late. Sir Ines. I opened the door to the clinic and found Spacey there. What is it, Sir Ines? Nothing important. I looked around. Good. There don't seem to be any patients. It really wasn't important, so I would have returned home if others had needed her. Can I talk to you? Yes, of course. Spacey smiled at me, nodded, and closed the door. This is interesting, because in everyone else is, like, in Elcreed's, it's you came over and you talked, it's like they're talking to us. Like, it's like we're reading their diary entry, and this he's talking to himself. Or to a third, he's not talking to us. He's not, you opened the door. It's Spacey opened the door. It's really weird. It's like they didn't keep consistent. And like, it just dawned on me. I'm like, wait. Sit down. I'll pour you something to drink. Oh, there's no need. There is. You're my guest. I see. Adage, the previous resident, would have left me standing. Grateful for the difference, I sat on a chair. Were you studying medicine? There was a smattering of written notes and books on the table. The books had been handwritten by Adage. The handwriting of the notes was Spacey's. One hand was beautiful and regular, but lacking individuality. One hand was practiced and swift. I found it amusing how small things like that reflected the author. If only he'd done something during his lifetime. Sorry, I'll clean the table. She noticed that I was eyeing her notes and rushed to clean it up. I won't stay long. I'll leave them like this. I don't mind. It's all right. I was hoping to finish up anyways. Adage often said to be wary of the strain on one's nerves. And yet he worked into the wee hours. He certainly judged himself. Oh, that's still... I think that was supposed to flip back and forth. That was her. I was hoping to... Or us. Me. We're Ines, though, so me right now is Ines. Well, weird. Anyway, it's alright. I was hoping to finish up. And then Adage often said to be wary of the strain on one's own nerves, because there's end quotes, so it'd be a different person. And yet, he worked into the wee hours. He certainly judged himself by different standards sometimes. Oh, maybe that was... I don't know who's... Anyway, fuck it. I don't know. I already thought of him in the past tense. Well, he was gone. But I still hope to find him somewhere deep down. Odd, since we hadn't even been very close. And again, in this, it's not, okay, you're there. Like, in Elcreed's, yes, he was thinking about Ulrich. But he was like, yeah, I've got to do this for him, and I let him... They are thinking of the other character, but, like, this just seems more... To me, I get the feeling, like, this is actually the most interesting Ines has ever been, because he's like, I still expect him to find him here somewhere, and it's like, I expected... I don't know why, when I'm reading this, I just feel like, you're speaking of him like he's a lost lover. I expect that from Elcreed. Ulrich, why did you leave me? And, like, the drama, I expect the drama and the angst coming from Elcreed. Okay, I really do. But it's just funny. Like, in Ines's route, just like the pining away in a way he's doing over Adage. Just because you don't really... I'm not saying he's not sensitive or anything, because, like, Ulrich was more like, yeah, Elcreed's dead and what the fuck, and you're tagging along with me, and, like, it was more about our relationship with him, and then it was more about himself. I feel like he wasn't like, Elcreed is gone, and Elcreed did this, and I gotta follow Elcreed. So he was, like, thinking about himself, and I had to leave the library, and we've got to move on, and we're going, and then, like, he's in the moment. Yeah, there's some other, like, the thoughts, but it's really more about what's happening right now. And, like, Elcreed, of course, was, like, the, you know, Ulrich's dead, and, like, blah, 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 and then you came out, and I'm thinking about the way I kind of screwed up stuff, and, like, whatever. And it's kind of about the both of them. And, like, I don't remember Adage's at all. Adage thinking about Ines being dead. Huh. I don't remember his at all. Wow. Talk about forgettable. Sorry, Adage. We just did that one, and it has not been that long. But I cannot... It has been longer for me doing Elcreed and Ulrich's, obviously. But Adage's, I'm just like, I'm totally blanking. And, like, I obviously would expect Ines to be, like, sensitive to, like, oh, Adage is dead and that's sad. But he's just like, I still hope to find him. And he's just gone. And it's like, this is, I feel like, the most pining any one of them has done for the other character. And it's just, I guess I just didn't expect it from Ines. Like, shocking. This is, like, the most entertaining you've been. Wow. All right, anyway. Odd, since we hadn't even been very close. What did you need? Said Spacey as she poured water into a glass. Also, again, everyone else is always, like, talking like they're writing to me. Like, we're talking about me. You came up to me, and I was pining over this person, and blah, 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 and he's just totally in himself. Spacey came up to me, and blah, blah, blah. No, this is about me, not you. But it's just weird. I don't think they did it on purpose. It was an accident, but it totally just makes his, like, inner monologue feel a little different than everybody else's. She had another glass for herself and sat down facing me. This is for you. Oh, that's me. This is for you. I pulled a small bottle from my bag. It's small enough to fit in the palm of a child's hands. Medicine? No, alcohol. Alcohol, she said, pondering the word. Today's a special day in the Hounds. We were honoring those of us who had died. He wasn't one of us officially, but in the end he died assisting the doctors assigned to the Hounds. I want to drink to his memory. Sir Ines. Did Adage drink? I think he did drink a little. I see. Spacey thought about this and laughed softly. I asked her why she was laughing, and she shook her head. Apparently she hadn't known, despite living with him. I think we need to put it behind us. I want to put it behind myself, anyway. But there are too many memories here. I can see Adage everywhere. I don't know if just looking around makes me remember him. I'm not sure who's saying this, so anyway. Grieving for him won't make him come back. I know. Oh. Okay, that was me. Grieving for him won't make him come back. I know. Spacey. I'm sorry. I shouldn't grumble. It's alright. You're strong. I feel honored to hear you grumble at all. Sir Ines. It's difficult for now. Oh, maybe that's supposed to be me. It's difficult for now, but I will get over it one day. And I'll be a doctor that Adage can be proud of. A doctor, huh? And that reminded me that the Hounds didn't have a doctor. We've asked the Heights so often. I suppose nobody wants to work in the depths. For the time being, the lack of large disturbances meant it was manageable. But that might change. Sir Ines? I'd have liked to hire her, but I have no idea what Sash would think of that, or what he might do. I asked Adage to look after her. Sending her to a safe place like the clinic had been the best course of action. And nothing. I drank the water in my glass and got up. It's Hound's custom to say, to the dead and drink the spirit. It's strong on both taste and alcohol volume. You don't have to drink it if you don't want to. Alright. And that's all. Goodbye. I went back to the door. When I opened it, she put a hand on my shoulder. Thank you for coming here for Adage. For Adage. That was only part of the reason, I thought. I'm glad to see you doing well. Good night, I said, and closed the door. Outside the clinic, it was dark and quiet. I took a deep breath, surprised by how different it was here compared to the urban areas of the Sanctuary District. It won't remain like this. The peace out here had a reason. It was far from the main Sanctuary District, and the residents didn't know much about the region. If they knew what it looked like here, no doubt the criminals would come to pillage the fields. It's up to me to stop them from coming. I put a hand on my sword to make sure it was still there. Vice Commander of the Hounds. I hadn't wanted this position, but I had a responsibility. I swore then that I was going to protect Spacey. To the dead. To Adage. That is like almost more touching, like from one of the characters to another, than it was anybody else's. But anyway. When I was small, I often helped out at home. It wasn't because I particularly enjoyed it, but rather because it was just normal in my family to do so. I was the eldest son, after all. I had to look after my brothers and sisters, and I had other duties as well. Having been born into a family of dairy farmers, looking after cattle was also part of my duties. I was probably fairly busy for a child my age. We lived in a corner of the dairy zone. It's really weird that they actually have cows on this fucking plate in the sky, like... It was quite far away from the temple, and so going into the city was always exciting for me when I was young. There were so many people and so many winding roads. The buildings looked like they had come from a picture book. My father had to pull me along or I would have stood hypnotized by the unfamiliar scenery. That's all we need. My father put the paper my mother had given him into the breast pocket of his vest and turned to address me. Is there anything you want?
Anything I want?
I thought on it and looked around. I don't know. There were things I wanted, but I couldn't express them. There's so much I want. The toys the children in the neighborhood had. The stationery my classmate had recommended to me. So adorably cute. I want a really nice stationery set. That's adorable. It's not like most kids aren't, like, into that shit, but it's kind of cute. Like, then again, they, like, steam prison, right? Steam pump. We're lucky we have electricity. There's a dude that goes around lighting lamps. You're like, it's 2618. What the fuck? The flood took out the electrical grids. All I'm saying. This isn't the past. This is the future, man. This is gonna suck. Sorry for all of you that survived the flood. I'm going out with it. Gonna get my fucking snorkel on. Like, just, nope. And there were so many things, but more than anything, that would bother them. I'd always known that we were poor. My parents had never told me, but I noticed it when I started going to school. It was the way the others behaved and the quality of our own home. Even to me, being quite young, the difference was obvious.
A stuffed toy?
A stuffed toy? You? My father's eyes widened with surprise and he laughed.
Yeah, it's her birthday soon.
Oh, I see how it is. I didn't want a stuffed toy, but my little sister's birthday was close and I had nothing to give her.
I want to make her happy, please.
All right. Such a... Is there anything you want? Because you came with me? I'm assuming he's not super, super little. Maybe he's a little bit older, but whatever. We gotta give kid voice. We can't give this Ines voice to little Ines. It's gonna be weird. I went to a toy store with my father. All the stuffed toys were expensive. All we could afford was a small one, no more than the size of my hand. Still, that's cute. Yet, I knew my little sister was going to love it. Who's saying? I'm assuming it's another kid. I want the horse carriage! Someone was yelling behind us as we waited for the stuffed toy to be wrapped up. I turned around and saw a boy about my age. He was pulling on his mother's arm, egging her to buy it for him. The mother smiled and relented immediately. She called an employee. She never even asked for the price. I see. I could tell by looking that it was expensive. I always wondered who could afford to buy something like that. So they're the sort of people... The clothes of both the mother and the child were expensive as well. I imagine that the nobles were surely somewhat like them. There's no point being jealous. I'm not jealous. I told myself and took our package from the employee. I had my parents, my siblings, and the animals. I was happy. I was fine. Yeah! Keep telling yourself that. Ines, what do you want to be when you grow up? We were on the way home. My father was asking this for no discernible reason.
What,
Oh, sorry. What kind of job would you like to be doing? His father's voice is all over the place, isn't it?
I can't be like you?
You can, he said and laughed. You can also be something else. I want you to live the life you want, Ines. Aw, Finn's parents, meanwhile, were really fucking disappointed that he was a failure and wasn't going to take over whatever the fuck they did. They're like, you're such a failure. And you won't take over the family business, you failure? You hate him, though. He was a failure. Like, I mean... And meanwhile, Ines' dad is like, I've raised you to be a really good dairy farmer, but you can do whatever the fuck you want, kid. Aw. Aw. Anyway. I never thought about that until now. I'd always assumed I would be a dairy farmer like my father. I couldn't think of a good answer. It was a tough question.
I don't have anything in mind. I want to do something good for you and everyone else.
I see. I look forward to that. I think you're going to be a great adult, Ines. His dad is so caring. Unlike Finn's parents, who were kind of dicks to him, and then it was like, we're so sorry our son killed you, and it's like, you're assholes to him. But we were nice to them. It's like, but you're kind of assholes to him. Like, even though I hated Finn. The whole time we played their first game, I didn't hate him in his own route, okay? I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and it was okay. It was a good route. I still don't really like Finn, but Finn taking the rap for us is better Finn. Okay? He was good Finn. Alright? But again, I think that should have been the route you played first. Not last, and they should never have set it up the way they did with, it's the last route. No, that doesn't make any fucking sense, because by that point, how the fuck do you like this motherfucker and want to play his route? I don't get it. Someone explain it to me. Someone who, like, played this game was like, oh my god, I want the Finn route, I love Finn, he's so great, and played all the routes and saw all the fucking shit he did, and we're still like, no, but I love him. He's got his reasons. No, he's a crazy asshole. But if you played that first, you would have been like, oh, Finn, okay. Yeah, you're not my character, and I don't, like, love you, but I don't hate you, and your route was cute, and like, oh, okay, sure. I get it. I get why people like him, and then he does that shit, and you're like, the fuck? But you do it last? What? Well, before the grand ending. Whatever. What? Really? Really? Anyway. Look. At the time, I didn't really understand what a great adult meant. This part's gonna go way over because I've rambled so much in his route. It's because he's kind of bored. I understood that he expected something of me, and that made me happy. This one was actually kind of cute, seeing him go out and buy toys for his sister. I want to help them so they can have a good life. And that was the first time that I thought about what I wanted to do in my future. I like the little stories like this, where you're like, you get the little, like, inner monologue, like, you understand. Like, I get why we do the other ones. It's the, after adage dies, here's your thought process now that we've basically, now we're in your route, even though we're not, but you know what I mean? It's almost like a route switch. So that's kind of cool. But then I like that where it's just like, it's just a random, like, past day in the life of theirs. It's like, I like that, but I'd known Sash as a police officer already. Not that he'd been a friend. We'd only ever spoken a few times, and only about work. Oh my god, is this like when Sashin was like in the Heights? Oh, I'm sorry, but I really wanted to fucking Sashin around more than anything. I want to know more about this motherfucker. Maybe we shouldn't know more about him. Maybe we should only know what we know, because you were like, goddamn, Sashin sucks, but I kind of want his route. Like, I want to have love-hate. I want to love-hate him. Be like, I hate you, but I love you, and like, what the fuck is wrong with me? And then you got that little inner monologue bit of his, and you were like, oh, he was probably a good boy at one point. Maybe we can save him. You can't ever. That's psycho talk right there. Like, we can save him, we can fix him. No, you can't, but, you know, for the sake of Otome game Imaginary Fantasyland, we can save him. You know? But, like, I kind of want, like, I just want an hour-long thing that I just read, like, Sashin's fucking backstory life. Like, Sashin being a kid, and, like, he just tried and wanted to be liked, and then everyone was so mean, and it just slowly spiraled out of control into being the fucking ball of hate that he was. Like, the fluffy, angry ball. Like, Sashin's one of those, like, oh, look, it's a cute little... what the fuck? It's like... You think it's a cute, fluffy little hamster, but it's got, like, dagger teeth, and it's gonna fucking kill you. You know what I mean? He's the rabbit from, like, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where it's, oh, just a cute little white rabbit. And it's literally, you know, except for, I mean, he looks angry and he looks like he's gonna bitch slap you, but you know what I mean? Like, he's just, you're like, oh, Sasha. You know, he just started out being, like, nice and simple and sweet and, like, innocent and maybe naive and just, like, nerdy or some shit, and then it just, like, made him angrier and angrier until now he's just, like, this fucking landslide of anger management issues and, like, evil. I just want to go back to when, like, he wasn't that way. Okay, we need a time travel episode where we just hop in the... Okay, we need to read this before we're over time, but I'm just saying you want it to now. You're welcome. And I'm sorry it doesn't exist. Ahem. I became a rank 1 officer at the age of 16. I'd barely finished training. My scores on the written examination weren't good, but I passed on the basis of my physical examination and character evaluation. Oh, Ines. Oh, he's the himbo. You didn't know he was gonna be him, huh? There's always that character. It's just like, you're a little more muscle, but they're usually the impy characters, and he just... Ines, that's why you're a little boring. It's just because you're not that bright. Aw. I'm strong, and I have very good character, but I'm not the brightest, Cran. Aw. I think I like him a little bit better now. You're like, no. Gotta throw him a little crumb, even if it is white bread. Whatever. I became a rank 2 officer when I was 20. And different officers take the exam at different times. But most need 4 years to become a rank 2 officer, and another 8 for rank 3. Only rarely does one rise up the ranks faster. I'm gonna guess Sashin did. That's where we're going. Yeah, those that do are the talk of the force. Sash was one of them. His determination and, like, steely angst. I need the Sashin story! This is the closest we're gonna get. I'm Sashin Brandenburg. Nice to meet you. Oh, he's supposed to be nicer. I met him when I was 21. It was the day Sash became a rank 1 officer. So, Ines is older than Sasha then. Oh! We were only a year apart. So wait. You became an officer at 16. He became an officer at 20. So, like, you were just like, nope, I'm gonna roll out of the field, and I guess Sasha was doing some other fucking shit. Wow. But it's kind of funny, though. I guess we really can't make fun of Ines for, like, not being bright on the written exam, but it's like, but you were also only 16 when most people are 20 doing it. So it's kind of like, you're taking a here's this college level exam at 16. Well, okay. Some kids are going to be smart enough to pass it, and some kids are going to be like, what the fuck, I haven't learned this. And some adults like me would be like, I don't want to do math. Didn't I have to stop doing math? Why do I have to do these word problems? Life is just a goddamn fucking word problem. I don't know how many pancakes Bob can flip if an alien is in a purple Hummer going 16 miles an hour at a train that just left Memphis at 2 p.m. I don't know. Like, they make no sense. And Juan has 65 fucking apples. Why? Why, Juan? Why do you have 65 fucking apples? How do you need that many apples? Now I'm stressed. Anyway. We were only a year apart. I can't. This is going to take forever. This part's going to be 3 hours. Apparently, he had joined the force after studying at university. Okay, so he went to university. A university degree isn't necessary to join the force. Apparently, university exists in the Heights. How long did you know this flood was coming? Because you built an awful lot of fucking shit. This is a government conspiracy right here. If anything, there were many like me who joined because their education was too poor for other avenues, which is why you had a hard time with the written exam. Okay, again, we can't blame him for circumstances. I remember thinking about how odd his history had been. 2 years passed. Sash became a rank 2 officer. I had been an officer for 7 years. Sash had been one for 2. Because he's fucking determined and he's smart. And he's kind of sexy and is angry. Sasha was hot, okay? I'm sorry, but he was. I know he was a fucking asshole, but I just imagine he wasn't that much of an asshole. He just slowly became one. Because he didn't seem like he was in this flashback when he got down, when he was in the depths. He was like, no, like, maybe I'm a little like, what the fuck? Because I just don't, I have a bit of an attitude, but he wasn't so much of an asshole. The amount of experience we had differed, but we had the same rank. We remembered each other well enough to greet the other. And later... Hein. I became more aware of him 3 years later in the Sanctuary District. 3 years later in the Sanctuary District. Oh, but okay, so he never got... neither one of them ever got to rank 3. My partner had died. Sasha's had been corrupt. Aw. That's unfortunate. They could have just paired them up. See? They could have been like, well, in this case, we could just pair you guys up and pretend they were partners and everything's good. But we were both assigned to the Hounds around the same time. That's convenient. Oh, I'm surprised. You were betrayed too. I'm not sure who's saying that, so hold on. Sash grinned at me. He called me Hein at the time, and I called him Brandenburg. We only started using each other's first names later. No, I lost my partner in an accident. I see. It won't be easy down here. I wonder how this will go. I sighed and looked at the Hounds facility. The flag in the wind, the Hounds emblem. Our duty, protecting criminals from the people of the depths. I wasn't supposed to be like this, I thought. and I felt the weight of responsibility land upon me. Who knows? I doubt we'll be able to go back either way. And that would be a problem. I have to go back. Offspring. That's such a Sasha thing. Offspring. Like, crotch goblets. Like, he'd be that person. Not children? Family? He's like, offspring. Like, maybe that's why I love Sasha. You're just as bitter and hateful as I am deep down inside. I wear a better mask. Not all the time. I drop it often. But, like, dude, at least I wouldn't be like, offspring. I'd be like, oh, family, kids, wife, maybe? Or I just wouldn't be making the small talk. Better to not have kids that'll just get sent to the depths. I was lucky while being unlucky, I think. Oh, I get it. I finally understood what Saj meant and cleared my throat. I didn't leave children behind. I'm not even married in the first place. I'm surprised. You always look like you want to go back to your girl. I do? I don't know. Sasha laughed and walked towards the facility. Oh my god, Sasha was gay and he's hitting on Ines. That's why we can't have a route with him. I don't care. Cut my hair and call me a boy. He'll never know. I mean, maybe eventually. We wouldn't know that he would know. We have no idea what the difference between men and women are, where babies come from, or anything about that, because we're that stupid. So we would just assume he would know, right? So wrong. Okay, well let me... Wait. Okay, well then just write a story, like a normal visual novel. I don't want to be a character, I just want you to read, and I want to read the story of Elkreed and Sasha. Because I feel like Elkreed, Sasha, and then Ulrich arguing in the background. That would also be great. I could handle that. Just write me that fucking story. Okay, I need now a 5-hour game, because I'm going to need a little bit of Sasha backstory. I'm going to need the Sasha and fucking Elkreed love story. I just need that. Okay. Alright, let's go with that. Somebody get that. Wait. I just wrote it in my head. We're good. I'm happy. 3 fucking hours later. I think we'll all die here, but I won't make it easy. Let's strap it and survive here. Both of us. Yeah. I knew there weren't many things that Sasha and I shared in terms of outlook and upbringing. We'd barely known the other before running into each other in the depths. He's right. We have to survive. See, he's not as, like, douchey. I mean, he's still a little bitchy, but... Never to give up hope. Always optimistic. To get back what we had lost. I followed Sasha into the building. It's kind of interesting, like, he's not as much of a tool as he comes across in the thing. But then again, we realize, right, that he only became a tool because... Whoops, I meant to hide help. He became the tool because he was arranging, like, a deal, right? And Thea got killed, and he blamed himself, and then he was like, ah! And then he, like, literally lost his fucking mind. But again, it was like, think of all the stress that you were putting on. You're like, I got thrown down here because some other fucking asshole is corrupt, and this place fucking sucks. And then you're trying to, like, why the fuck did you just, what the hell? And, like, yeah, he wasn't the nicest person to begin with. But I don't think he was as fucking much of a psycho as he ended up being. So I'm just really curious about that. And I'm just going to write the fan fiction in my head about him and Elkreed. Yeah. Anyway, this was a super long part. It shouldn't have been, but I rambled a lot. But Ines is a little boring, so my mind wanders a lot and gets lost, and then we have to drag it back, and then it's coming back with all of its random tangents. Plus, then you started talking about Sasha, and look, I love Sasha, and that was the most interesting thing that we dealt with in this whole part. What should have probably been a 10-minute part, because he didn't have a lot of content, turned into longer than everybody else, but... Anyway... Like, Adage, I didn't ramble as much because I was reading it like, I don't remember this guy. Was he in the first... Obviously. He's so forgettable. Every single time I'm like, okay, we've got Elkreed, you got Ulrich, you got... Oh, we didn't date Sasha. And okay. Oh, right, Yune and Ines. And who the fuck was the other guy? Right, and it literally, like, my mind blanks, and I'm like, who the fuck? What's the other Wait, it's not like when you're trying to name your love interest in Hakuoki, where you're like, there's like 30 of them, I gotta count them on my fingers, and you're always gonna forget someone, and there's only 5. But I'm like, Finn doesn't count, because he's the... What the hell? Poor Adage. He gets easily forgotten, and Ines is just a little bland and boring. But anyway, next part, which... Next week, I think? I think it's next week. Look, I'm just doing these all in random time, so I have no idea what day is what anymore. They're all coming up on Sundays, but I think this is the second one that goes up. If I marked off in my book, yes, this is the second part. So next week, we will do, or in the next part anyway, regardless, whatever, Yune. So, yeah. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.